Joel Kim Booster, welcome to Live from Bed.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was just asking, who are other people with the 3 name?
Oh, Sarah Jessica Parker, I think most famously. Yeah.
For sure.
There's
so many.
There's so many.
But I like it.
But thank you.
I really like it. I like that it takes...
It's funny because when I graduated theater school, a lot of my professors were like, you should drop the booster and just be Joel Kim because the booster is so weird.
Interesting.
And now I'm so glad I didn't listen to them
It's
because I can't imagine not being Joel Kim Booster. Yeah.
No, for sure. But some people think it's Joel Kim. Some people think... Okay,
yeah.
I like it. Okay, so we're talking about your bachelor party. I did not realize you're getting married.
Yes, I'm getting married on the night before New Year's Eve. This year in San Francisco. Yep.
Oh, so okay. So the night before, so that's December
30th.
30th.
Yeah.
Okay, so not a New Year's Eve wedding.
No, we wanted to give people an opportunity if they had other New Year's plans to still do it. Although we are, as a part of our wedding like weekend, we are like hosting a New Year's party and like New Year's Day in San Francisco is actually a bigger deal than New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So we're hosting like a very like chill house party for New Year's Eve. Everyone's going to be gone by 1, go to bed early. And then on New Year's Day in San Francisco, there's a big party called Breakfast of Champions. And it starts at like 11 a.m. and it goes until late night. And it's a street festival sort of vibe. And everybody dresses up in like costumes and whatnot. And so we're inviting everybody who's coming to the wedding to do that with us.
Oh my God, that's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's a whole, 4-day event if you want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Well, you have the bridal party of my dreams. So we were just talking about Matt Rogers, who we both love and adore. And then you were saying that Matt and Bowen are both partiers.
Yes, they are both bridesmaids for me. And they just, my entire wedding party just planned the best bachelor party that I've ever had.
No, that's my dream.
I mean, we'll hopefully ever have. And it was we went to New Orleans. And so it was really cute because he and his wedding party got a house in New Orleans, and then me and my wedding party got a house in New Orleans, and we overlapped on like a couple of events, like one big party and then like something else. But for the most part, we were doing our own thing with our wedding parties in NOLA, and it was the most fun I think I've had in a weekend in a long time. I've never felt more loved. I've never felt more seen. Like everything they planned was just so perfect. It was truly like no notes. Like there was no drama. There was like nothing bad happened, and they planned it impeccably. Like we did everything I could have possibly wanted to do in New Orleans.
I mean, if there's 2 people I would trust to throw my bachelorette party, like it would be
well,
them.
And everybody was sort of in charge of different things. Like Bowen was in charge of the games that we played the first night, which was a lot of fun. He had a lot of very deep trivia about me that he incorporated into these games. And then Matt was in charge of a couple of the dinners and then the guns. We went to the shooting range. We went to the gun range.
Rogers in charge of guns.
Yeah, and putting Matt in charge. Just saying the phrase Matt was in charge of guns is part of the joy for me. In general, we went on a ghost tour, we went on a gator tour, we did all of the touristy things you could possibly do in New Orleans, and then some. And it was just, honestly, it was the best time. I had the best time, and it made me so excited for the wedding too, because obviously we've been planning it, and that's so much stress and so much responsibility and so many decisions to be made, and then to have arrived at like this event, it reminded me like, oh no, this is going to be a really fun day too.
No, because you do get lost in the sauce of the planning, and you're like, wait, why are we doing this again?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's so fun. So you guys don't share friends, or were there any?
We do.
Okay.
In fact, I'm like, both of us are really good friends with both of our wedding parties. But it was just like a nice, like, obviously, like for us, like a bachelor party doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. Like neither of us sees our wedding as like, well, that we're gonna lock it down after this and like no more fun. But it was just like a nice way to spend time with our close friends. Sort of like, I mean, we haven't gone on a solo vacation with our friends since we started dating, basically. Like the other person's always been there. And now I consider his friends my friends and vice versa. But it really was nice to just like have sort of what will probably be one of our last like solo vacation trips, that if we can help it anyways. But like, because we like traveling together. We like being together. But it was, and I was actually, it had been like 3 weeks since I'd seen him. And it was really hard when we both got to New Orleans on Thursday. And I was like, well, this is stupid. We weren't supposed to see each other until Friday. Okay. We were going to go out to the bars together. And I was like, well, this is dumb. I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. I want to see you.
Yeah.
But we were both like, let's just wait until Friday. And then I had so much fun with my friends that I like forgot that
my
I
God,
was like, I hadn't seen him in 3 weeks. So.
Yeah, like I feel like, so you guys there wasn't anyone that you're like, no, he's my friend, or no,
Oh,
he's my
no,
friend.
no. It was all pretty clear, I think, for
Yeah.
us. Like, there was maybe there's like a couple people in his wedding party I think that could have very easily overlapped with mine at this point.
Over them.
But for the most part, no.
Yeah.
Like it was just people that have been in his life for many, many years, and people have been in my life for many, many years.
Did you get wasted?
We got pretty fucked up. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah.
Like on hurricanes, what are they called?
Well, definitely some people on hurricanes. I'm not a big drinker anymore, so there was only like one night that I actually drank, but
Yeah.
I do plenty of other stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and
you gotta do
yeah. So I was able to keep up and still have fun. But yeah, I think for me it was like what we walked around and got like frozen. I had like a frozen pina colada
like
that
in
was
those
like this
totally
big.
like on
So
Bourbon
and that
Street?
was about as drunk as I think I've been in years.
Did
so.
you do it like intentionally? Because I didn't see a lot of coverage of this on social media. Was that intentional?
No, I think it was just honestly a byproduct of us having a really good time.
Isn't
and
that
like
the truth though? Like when you're having a
Yeah.
good time, it's actually just not on.
Yeah. I mean, there were plenty of like close friends stories happening throughout the week, but it was just genuinely, I think like both of us were having such a good time. He's not a big social media guy in general. Like he's really bad at
Your
posting in
fiancé.
general. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I really only post with regards to like promotion at this point. So it was easy for us to just sort of stay off our phones and be present. And yeah, it was so ideal. I can't even say
Was there
it enough.
drama?
No drama.
Wow, gorgeous.
No drama. Not even an ounce of drama.
How big is your bridal party?
It's 5 people.
Oh,
and then my best friend of 20 years is also a pastor, and so is the officiant in our wedding. And
What
and
an
she
incredible
came,
gaggle of people
Yeah,
this
so
was.
she came as well on the bachelor party too, even though she's not officially a part of my wedding
Does a
party.
pastor get down?
Oh, she gets down. She got down harder than I did, quite honestly,
Great.
and always has.
I love that. She's like, I'm
yeah.
good with the Lord. It's
Yeah,
fine. Like,
exactly,
I can do
exactly.
this.
I don't think in her,
I mean, it's the blood
in
of
her
Christ.
eyes, yeah, I don't think getting down has anything to do with
Same.
religion
I think the same.
or Christ.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very easy.
The blood
for
of
her.
Christ
Yeah.
is alcohol.
Brought some of the best weed that from
Love.
Seattle. Yeah,
Yes.
so it was
What, the best weed from Seattle?
yeah. That's where she lives.
Is that a
so-
good hub? of
Yeah.
weed?
Oh yeah. I think
Wow.
anywhere on the West Coast really has
Yeah.
superior weed to anywhere on the East Coast.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. I love that. I wish I had been there. I need to see more content.
Yeah,
from this
I'll
road
show
trip.
you after we get out.
Oh, fun. Okay. So I just need to like start with this. You are so physically fit. It's stupid.
Thank you.
What? Okay, because I'm pregnant, so I'm turning into a muffin in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
time. So I'm like, what goes into that?
You know what? For me, I appreciate that. I will say that like since being in this relationship and since, especially since getting engaged, like I will say in the last 4 years, I'm not as laser focused as I was when I was in my early 30s, say, and so much goes into it. I will say I think money is a huge part of it.
Right.
I didn't really start getting fit like I am now until I had the money and the time to really do it, because it's so much about going to the right gym, and then like I have a trainer, and also I could afford to eat well for the first time in my life. Like my 20s, like I looked okay in my 20s, but it wasn't as sort of, focused as it was because I just didn't have the money, like I didn't have the money for a good gym. I didn't have the money for a trainer. I was eating like shit because that's all I could afford. And I didn't have time either. I was working all the time. And that's the other big component of it, is that it requires so much time too. And so, yeah, all of those things go into it. But now I'm happy in a relationship, and I would, if I have the choice, if it comes down to like, okay, I can work out today, or I will only be able to see my partner today for a couple of hours because we're both busy with work or something like that, I will always preference spending time with my partner or doing something like that. Or like on the bachelor party weekend, I was not in the gym. I was not concerned with being in the gym. Yeah,
Working
I'm not
on
one of those
vacation is
people.
illegal to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
I don't believe in
So, but I will say it is like a nice centering sort of like routine, that I have in my life. I enjoy having a little bit of control. I will say, like, I always go back to, I think the reason I got so focused on my fitness and working out and stuff like that, especially after getting a little bit more successful in my career, is that like my career, I have so little control over, what parts I get,
Right.
my time, my schedule, where I'm going to be in the world shooting. Like right now I was telling you I'm in Vancouver shooting Scrubs. And so like I really value having that one corner of my life that I have control over. And so that's why I think I still continue to make it a focus, is that like, okay, I may not be able to control any of these other factors in my life, but I can control what's going in my body and how I use my body. And so that's probably a big reason why I still look the way I do.
I mean, it's unfucking believable. It's like you are rock solid. Are you annoying about it? Like,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean,
I'd forgive you if you were.
Yeah, no, but I like to think that I am less annoying than like some of my friends. I mean, there are definitely people in his wedding party who are much more fit than I am, who are definitely working out while they were in New Orleans. And that is like, that's for me, like, I'm not that person on vacation.
Are
like,
you lettuce wrap only?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I would say that's the biggest change from being in a relationship and like post being in a relationship is like, I still make it a point to get into the gym, but I am no longer like weighing the chicken breast on the counter. I'm not like doing any of that stuff. I think about like I'm aware of what I'm taking in, but like I like yesterday we got so much leftover Halloween candy from Target. That was on sale. Well, because it's all being on sale. Because I think like last weekend was like the big Halloween weekend for a lot of people. Yeah. So all this Halloween candy was prematurely like 40% off, and I was like, well, that's a deal.
Fuck me up.
So we got so many bags of Halloween candy, and I housed like an entire thing of like fun size Snickers. Which, by the way, speaking of this economy, the fun size Snickers now. They're like little chicklins.
No fun.
It's crazy.
What's fun is a large size of a candy bar. I know.
Exactly. But who can afford that?
I know. They need to title them differently.
It was no fun.
Yeah.
It was no fun.
Was had.
Yeah. No fun size.
I feel like people don't realize like what a commitment it is to look like you do. Like how many hours in the gym is it? I'm
in the gym probably 90 minutes 4 times a week. So, that's, what is it? 6 hours, 6.5 hours.
Damn. But that's good. It's like good for your mental health. It's like
and it's a nice moment for me to like take myself out of the house. Like especially he works from home. If I'm not on set, then I'm usually at home or doing something like this. And so it's a nice part of my routine for sure.
Are you naturally hairless?
Yes, I'm a dolphin. I'm a dolphin from the neck down. And it's bad. I wish I could grow facial hair. I can't. My mustache starts growing here and then grows off my face like a full Fu Manchu.
Love.
So humiliated. You'll never see me with a mustache, which sucks because I always say if I could grow facial hair, it would be over for everybody.
For sure.
It would be too much, actually. God doesn't give with both hands.
100%. It would just, I know, it'd be too unfair for the rest of us. Yeah. But you so arm hair, no, like nothing.
No, I mean, I have a little bit, like you can see a little bit of it,
gorgeous.
But it's very it's very translucent. You can barely tell. I don't even moisturize my body. And people are very silky. Like, I mean, you can feel.
Yeah, I'd like to feel. That feels like you just got waxed yesterday.
No. Yeah. It's my greatest privilege.
It really is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I got a bikini wax yesterday. Let me tell you, I wish I was fucking hairless. It's just not happening for me. Okay, so I need some of your advice.
Okay.
So I'm with child.
Yes.
Yes, I'm with child. I'm not just obese. I'm having a boy. What do you think I should name my son?
Oh, see, this is a big point of contention for me and my partner because I have a lot of ideas about names for children that he does not appreciate or get on board for. Like, I really want to name our son Leviticus. Well, I mean, Leviticus Booster. Levi for sure.
Levi.
Come on. Yeah. How is that a bad name?
That.
I love for girls. I love boys' names for girls.
Cute.
Like I really love the name Moses for a girl. You're sensing a theme. A
Jewish.
lot of it.
He would love that.
Very, very Old Testament names here.
Right.
Moses and Leviticus. Those are going to be our
It's very Kardashian
children.
Of you. Psalm.
Ezra is another name that I really love for a girl.
She?
Or a boy, actually.
Yeah.
Ezra is I just love the name Ezra in general. I think for either sex, and then the baby's going to be half Jewish. I
Right.
think that's a really great.
Yeah, so we should lean into
coming
that.
together. Yeah.
I know. I tried to get Saint to cry, but Kim Kardashian took Saint, so it's like
Oh
over.
yeah, that's the I hate these people who
I
have like
know.
ruined the names that you would otherwise want.
I know. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But are you religious?
I am not. I'm no longer religious. I grew up
Just in the
very,
name.
very. Yeah.
Just in names.
Yeah, just in names. I grew up very religious. I'm a nationally ranked Bible quizzer.
Wait, what is
so
that?
when I was in high school, I was on 2 different Bible quiz teams. One associated with my school and one associated with my church, and I was nationally ranked in both.
So you they pop quiz like
They basically you choose a book of the Bible every season, and your team is responsible for collectively memorizing that entire book of the Bible. And so at one point I had the first 8 chapters of John memorized by heart, the first 7 chapters of Acts memorized by heart. I could go and
does
just
that serve you today?
No.
Does it ever come up?
No,
No one ever wants to
no
quiz you.
one ever wants to quiz me.
Never a Jeopardy topic?
You know what? When I did do Celebrity Jeopardy, there was a Bible category, and I cleared.
Yeah, duh.
I fucking cleared that category. I ate. But no, unfortunately, it doesn't really come up in day-to-day life. I will say I have an insane memory. To this day, for I will get into my trailer, look at the sides, the script for that day, once or twice, and then for the rest of the day.
So you
I'm
did
good.
well in school.
Kind of. I was so I was homeschooled until I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I got to public school, it really I was really far advanced in reading and writing and really far behind in math and science, because the whole reason my parents wanted to homeschool me is they didn't want me learning about science or sex, basically.
Wow.
They really weren't paying that close attention to what we were doing schooling wise when we were home, because both my parents worked.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking at the math answers in the back of the book,
Right.
so I could get back to reading whatever book I was supposed to be reading. And so by the time I got to high school, it was just I was really able to communicate and well spoken and things like that, but I was hopeless in math and science. And so I got okay grades, but it's just because they evened out. I got really high grades in English and in history and things like that, social sciences, because I could write, and I was in honors classes in those, and then the math and the science was roof.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, hot girls can't do math, though. I feel
No,
like,
exactly.
why would we bother ourselves with numbers and shit?
No, and it was funny because I would be in these classes and we'd have to pair up, and all these white girls would always be like, "Oh, I want Joel," and I'm like, "Oh, your racism has unfortunately led you astray today, because you're gonna do better, Kelly, than I am in this pop quiz."
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, it
Oh,
was
I
rough.
love that. Okay, but what were holidays like when you're homeschooled? What were Halloween? Did you just hang with other kids in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it was a neighborhood sort of thing. It was the kids at my church, certainly. And that was always my parents, as strict as they were okay with Halloween. But a lot of kids I grew up with who were in the church were like, no Halloween, no, no dressing up, any of that, celebrating the devil's night, stuff like that. But my parents were sort of like, you're not worshiping the devil. You're dressing up like Dracula and going and getting candy.
Was anything off limits for you to dress up as?
Yeah, I mean, nothing Satan related,
Sure.
demons, anything in that realm, anything that was real. They actually really didn't want us dressing up as witches or wizards or anything like that either. But if it was a real, something that was truly fake, like a vampire or werewolf, I dressed up as the Phantom of the Opera one year.
You say truly fake.
Yeah, truly fake. Yeah, but yeah, they were okay with that. I was a Power Ranger one year, so they were fine with stuff like that. And I think for them it was an economic thing too, because it was free people are in the neighborhood are giving out free shit. Yes, and absolutely take advantage of this, because we did not have a ton growing up. So my parents were always looking for cost saving measures.
I mean, I love free shit.
Yeah.
Love.
To this day, I can't resist.
Yeah, no, me neither. But okay, so the demon thing makes me think of K-pop Demon Hunters. Was that a hard puck to get across? Did they care about that?
I don't think they know, honestly. My parents do not follow my career. I think the only thing my mom is ever seen me do is Celebrity Jeopardy.
Right.
Because that's the only thing I think that she would find appropriate. Like, I don't tell them about stuff anymore, too, because I know they won't approve and they won't engage with it. And if they do engage with it, they'll be disappointed in me. So why even bother? I have plenty of people in my life who are proud of my career accomplishments. My family doesn't need to be one of them.
I mean, it was like the number one most watched.
Yeah, it's the most watched Netflix movie of all time, which is really insane. And I have like a very small part in it. I have, I'm one of the boy band members, which I think has like 4 lines in total. Romance,
okay.
yeah.
That's
and
a
then
good name for a kid.
I'm like two other random voices in it. But it is, it's so wild. I never expected it to pop off in the way that it did. I don't think anybody involved did, quite frankly. And like romance specifically, like all of the boy band members, no matter if they have, some of them don't have any lines, and there are full fan accounts devoted to individual members of this boy
people
band.
Are going deep.
Yeah, and like romance has a huge following, and I'm just like, guys, I have 4 lines in this. Like,
no, they don't care.
They don't care. They don't care. They're obsessed.
Is like I bet you'll see a lot of romances.
Oh yeah,
for Halloween.
In fact, it's nice because it's the first time that my friends have sent me like. Their kids are really into it, and like so they're like getting a lot of points because they're like, oh, mommy and daddy knows romance and stuff like that, and so I'm getting a lot of costumes now from my friends, which is really cute.
And I love that you noted that you were the one person from the boy group who did not die on
exactly.
Camera. So it opens the
sequel.
Yeah, there's gotta be a sequel. Of course.
There's definitely gonna be a sequel. Whether or not I will be in it, it's yet to be seen. But
hey, I think you will. Oh my God, I love that. So my favorite thing is that you were a slutty Princess Diana.
Yes, slutty Princess Diana Beanie Baby a couple years ago.
It's not a demon.
No, not a demon.
So that's not off limits.
No. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know that my parents would love how every Halloween costume in the last decade has been slutty blank.
If I looked like you, I'd be slutty everything.
And I'm not gonna look like this forever, so I might as well take advantage of it now.
Right.
So lots of different. I was a slutty Mormon a couple. Years ago, I was what was I last year? Even the costumes have gotten increasingly lazier and sluttier too. I was this year. I was slutty Hermes.
Oh my God,
from the game Hades, which my boyfriend is a big video. We're both big video game players, but he works in the games industry, so it's like a big deal for him.
How did you meet him?
We met. It was. Both of our first big gay vacations after lockdown ended.
I want to go on a big gay vacation.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. We were both really basically locked down with our pods. I wasn't going crazy during lockdown, and so this was our first big trip, and I was with my friends from San Francisco that I'm really close to. He was living in San Francisco at the time, and on the first night out they saw each other because they are all mutuals, and we were introduced. And that night we were each other's first hookup coming out of the pandemic. And it was we talked until the sun rose on the beach and whatever. And then the next night we saw each other out, and it was listen, I know how these weekends go. You can go off to your next guy. You can find night 2 guy now. I was just night 1 guy. That's cool. I'm gonna be chill about this. I'm not gonna be clinging on to you for the rest of the weekend because it's we wanted to be whores. Yeah. We just come out of a year and a half being stuck inside. Totally. Let's go crazy. And then long story short, I've talked to him every day since that day that we met. We were vacation boyfriends that weekend, and then he had just taken a job that was moving him to LA. Okay. And I was about to head to New York to shoot Fire Island. And, we had this conversation before we left the weekend where it was sort of what are we going to do? Because I was listen, I don't want to be your first boy. He was I don't want a boyfriend right when I moved to LA. And I was I don't want to be your first boyfriend when you move to LA, because that seems like a recipe. That does not scream longevity.
Yeah, that brand is
yeah. So I wanted him to have his own life. We both were afraid that if we started dating right away when he moved to LA, that he'd just be folded into my life and never really,
a lot of responsibility on you,
establish his own friends, his own routines, his own life. And luckily, I was gone for the first 3 months that he lived in LA because I was filming Fire Island, and so he was able to establish himself. And then I got back, and we were we're not going to date, we're not going to date, we're not going to date. And meanwhile, we're hanging out 5 times a week and doing everything together. And then finally, at a certain point, it was no, we're together, we're dating.
I love
So,
that. I
yeah.
love that. So I know you just said earlier that like you guys, it's not like you guys are treating this like your last hurrah, like the bachelorette
Yeah.
party, whatever, as your last hurrah. Does that mean you're going to be in an open relationship?
Yeah, we've always been non-monogamous. At the start, it was
Yeah.
because we were long distance. Like I was in New York, he was in LA and San Francisco,
Totally.
and we weren't together. So
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to be committed to each other that way. And then, you know, I don't think either of us are built that way. And that's part of, I think, our compatibility is that we both have similar sort of the rules that we've settled on, and the way we sort of engage with that part of our relationship is very much the same. And it's just about communication. It's just about respect and communication. And you know, we had rules at the start that were very like on paper rules, but what we've learned in the last, you know, almost 5 years is that rules are fine, but it's such a day-to-day thing that you cannot expect the rules to be the same every single day.
Totally.
Because there are certain nights where we could be out at a party and I could be bopping around, like making out with a stranger, and he's like relieved that I'm off his hands, you know? And then there could be that same night, same party, you know, same group of people, all the conditions are the same, but that night he just needs me to be his boyfriend, you know? And like, it's a constant renegotiation. It's a constant like, hey, checking in, like, how are you feeling tonight? Like, what do you want this vibe to be? Like, what's going on? And then, you know, we have some standard stuff like no sleepovers and stuff like that. But it's interesting, like, you know, it works for us. And I'm so in love with him that there are certain things like, it's interesting. I met a straight couple recently and they were telling me how they met. And they were like, we both had partners at the time, but we didn't cheat. You know, we never hooked up. We never kissed. We never did anything physical. We never cheated. But like we would text every day and, you know, they'd FaceTime me at lunch. And you know, when my partner was out of town, we'd go and see movies, but we never even held hands. So we didn't cheat. And I was like,
Yeah, that
I
counts.
could give a shit who he fucks.
Totally.
But if he was texting somebody every day
forget it.
and talking to them on phone at lunch and all this other stuff, that's way more important to us. That kind of fidelity is way more important to us than physical fidelity. And the thing is I acknowledge that everybody has a different relationship to sex.
Yeah.
You know, some people, it's so important. It's just a different relationship than I have to it. I don't see sex as that important. Like I don't need it to be connected emotionally or any of those things. And so and he doesn't either. And so for us, like the sexual like fidelity part is sort of like whatever, like, you know, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But like we're both very much on the same page that it's like if you are emotionally getting involved with somebody, that's where it crosses the line.
Totally. Okay, I find this so fascinating because when you were like, you know, it's about communication. I'm like, to me, it'd probably be about lack of. It'd be like, don't tell me like what happened. You know what I mean? I don't fucking want to know.
Our policy on that is like if he has like if I'm gone, because it mostly manifests when one of us is in a different city or we're apart.
I'd never
you know,
leave
like,
town.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm fucking here all the time.
It's like the thing is like if you have like a normal, nice, good hookup, I don't necessarily need to hear about it unless it's like somebody like that I need to know about it. But for the most part, I don't need to hear about it. But if something funny happened,
okay, yeah,
that's when I want to know.
Yeah.
Like,
Are friends off limits?
It depends on the friend. Honestly, again, it goes back to like sort
Your
of
bridal
communication.
party.
You know,
Someone in your bridal party.
I don't think either of us are in danger of
okay.
hooking up with either of the people in our wedding party. Not because they're not attractive, just because I think the way they know each other is like it just brings it to a different space. But there are definitely like friends that we've both hooked up with, or you know.
But you could be at the same party and hook up with someone, like, or like, is it like you shouldn't be there?
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends. It depends again. Like, there have definitely been situations where that's happened because that's sort of the vibe of the party too. But
I want to go to this party. I want to go on gay vacation. I want to do all these things.
You're invited. The next one's for sure.
This sounds fun.
But yeah, for us, like the commitment to each other is so much more than, you know, like, because it's funny because I've seen people give me shit like, why even bother getting married? And for us, it's like, is sex the thing that makes your relationship special?
Also,
is sex
please,
the thing that,
you know,
like,
what's going on in people's homes? Like, you know, I think you'd be the most boring heterosexual, blah, 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 whatever on paper couple.
And maybe it is. Maybe that component of your relationship is what binds you together in a very specific, deep spiritual way. And I totally respect that. It's just not what it is for us. And we've found other, you know, we have a lot of other connection points that are just more important to us than this other part. And I'm very lucky. I feel very blessed that we found each other because it's that part is like finding somebody that you gel with on all of these different levels, and then also align with in terms of how you see and view sex is really hard, because there are people, I think, that genuinely like would still be together if they aligned on that part. Because I know so many couples that have aligned on every other aspect, but one is just they do not, like, one needs it, you know, variety, and the other just sees sex as a monogamous relationship. And it's like, if you don't align on that one very important part of your relationship, then it's maybe not going to work out as well as you want it to.
Is one of the I know there's not necessarily rules, but like, is one of the things like you can't hook up with the same person more than once? Like, it can't be like a continuum.
No, in fact, like, I'm much more like that. Like, that is a big thing for me, is that I'm really into the novelty. Like, I can count on like two hands the number of people I've had sex with more than one time.
No way.
Or more than like 3 times, we'll say. Because like, I'm not a fuck buddy person. Like, that's just never been me.
Yeah.
He is much more like, he would prefer like a rapport, like a more like regular like gut person. That, and for me, that doesn't bother me if he's doing it. I don't know if I were in that sort of realm, if that would make it easier or harder for him. But I think he knows that I'm like on to the next. So like, and the thing is that like, the sex that we have together, because we still have sex, obviously, it's really important, is so specific and so different than the sex I'm having with a stranger. You know? And I think people forget that part of it too. That like, the sex, like, I think people think that the sex we have is not special because we're having sex with other people, but I don't think all sex is created equal.
No, and you guys like know each other. You guys know your preferences.
It's a very
you've invested
spiritual.
more.
It's connected. It's like, it's beautiful. Like, you know, I love it. But then sometimes I just want to be a slut.
You just want to be fucked.
You know, and it's just like that kind of sex is different than the sex you're having with your partner.
I did not realize, this is just so stupid of me. I didn't realize that that people are either tops or bottoms.
Or verse.
Okay,
both. But my partner and I are both fairly verse. Okay, so great. we'll switch off.
We're into
different
variety
parts.
In this
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
I love so much. I love how you were talking. First of all, are you guys both on the app still?
I think I am when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
But neither of us are like glued to the apps on our phone when we're in like together.
Yeah. You probably run into a lot of people you know on the apps.
Yeah. It is definitely like a very small community of
Andy
people.
Cohen's definitely on those apps.
I don't know. Andy might be too big to be on those apps at this point.
He says he's still on those apps.
Oh, he does? Okay, wow. He's incognito, because I don't know if I've ever seen him
maybe
there.
Like under an alias.
Yeah, or just like, you know, faceless profile, neck down.
Well, that brings me to my next thing. Well, first of all, I love how you talk about how shower sex is actually horrific.
I think it's bad. I think it's bad, full stop.
Of course it's bad. It's only one person, unless you have like jets coming from every side.
This is the thing that always gets me, is that when I talk about this, because I talk about it on stage too, people always slide into my DMs and they're like, oh, well, you don't understand. My shower is like 6x5. It has all these jets and places to sit down. And I'm like, that's not the shower that most Americans are working with right now. Okay. And you're speaking to a economic divide in this country that is very pronounced when it comes to bathrooms specifically.
I think so, actually. I actually think you can tell how wealthy someone is based on how quickly their shower gets hot.
How abso-fucking-lutely.
You know?
And so for me, it's like, when I'm thinking of like tub with a shower head, that's the kind of shower sex I'm thinking about. And in those cases, it's like someone is underneath the water, being waterboarded, like cannot breathe because the water is shooting into their mouth, or someone's out of the water, freezing cold, desperate to get back under the water. And it's like, either one of those extremes, no one's having fun. And I don't think we should stop lying to yourself that this is a fun activity.
And
it's
water
not.
is not lube. You know what I mean?
This is so important.
Water hurts. Like,
this is so, it's abrasive.
Yeah.
It does not work as lube. And a lot of people think that it will.
Yeah.
But no.
People aren't speaking about that enough. You know?
And Showgirl's really done fucked up a generation of people who think it's very easy to have sex in a pool too, when it's not.
No, you have to get out of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I also don't love having sex in like a jacuzzi or a pool. Where's your favorite place to have sex?
Honestly, I love like a sectional couch.
Oh,
you know, I love
like an L shape.
Yeah, because it's like it feels a little bit like this isn't a bed. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. Like, there's a lot of danger. We're in a living room usually. Like, someone could walk in the door at any time. And then there's like lots of different angles that you can sort of, land on with the sectional couch as well.
Totally.
So
yeah, there's like a lot of, it's like a jungle gym. Like, it's
exactly.
A lot of room for levels and things. I like that. I love your collection of nudes that has surfaced on the internet and just in general. I think the art of the nude, it's a lost art, you know?
Really is.
And it
really is.
There are professionals and there are amateurs.
Exactly.
In that department,
Yeah.
So I want to know from you, what are the rules of nudes? First of all, are there any days you have to avoid sending a nude? Are there any holidays that are like not nude friendly?
I think you don't ever lead with nudes because you never know what day it is for the person you're sending it to until you engage with them a little bit.
Right.
Maybe they just lost their job and a nudes would be really welcome. Maybe they just lost a parent.
Right.
And a nude is maybe not the vibe that they want to like open up their phone to,
Yeah.
So definitely like have a little bit of context for the person that you're communicating with before sending the nude. I think a nude should almost always be solicited.
Like someone has
asked for, or at least intuited that, like, again, that communication and figuring, like, having the conversation with a person, and even if it like, the conversation can get a little flirty, or it can be like talking about sex, and then you have a window. But for the most part, especially now, like being a person, in the world on television, I'm very careful to try and not like just like inundate somebody with my nudes, and so then they can go off and be like, my mom died and Joel Kim Booster flooded me with nudes at my mom's funeral.
What an incredible piece of content you'd get.
Exactly.
Them with,
yeah, I just don't. I'm a little bit more careful these days, but
you do your face in all the nudes?
For the most part, yeah. I think my face
smiling,
is
or is it just a straight face?
No, it's usually a mean mug.
Serious
like either sort of a neutral face or that. Like, I find it very unnerving when I see a guy's dick pic and he's like, like full set of teeth. I don't need. That's like there's a cognitive dissonance there 100%. That is really hard for me to parse.
I want to see your dick, not your teeth.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I respect that. Okay, so you'll include the face. Is it the whole face?
Depends on the angle, and then it depends on like if it's like a full body nude. Many people will ask for face just to make sure that it's you and things like that. And then, but obviously, if it's from the rear view, I'm not like
sure,
getting my face in there.
You have to be like creative. You know what I
you
mean?
really do. Yeah.
Do you ever send old nudes?
I try to keep them within the last couple of years for the most part.
Yeah.
There are some old standards. I've looked roughly the same for the last few years. Like there hasn't been a super amount of like difference, but like a lot of the apps now will send like time-stamped watermarks on your pictures too, which is helpful because I've had pictures sent to me that were clearly from many moons ago. Once you arrive to see them,
so most of your
notice.
Sending and exchanging of nudes is in the app. It's not on text.
No, I like to, and that's the other thing, like because I'm very like on to the next. Like I'm not ever getting to the point with most of these people where we're exchanging phone numbers.
Right.
I'm very utilitarian about it. I'm very much like, this is this is for one thing
business.
alone. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, how do you feel about face tuning a nude?
Oh my God. I wonder if I can tell this story. I can tell this story. I've seen it happen live in front of me. And I think it's obvious it should be illegal, clearly. But this guy I know, I hesitate to say friend, screen mirrored his phone to the TV to show us something at a small pregame, and then went to the bathroom and forgot to unscreen mirror the phone. And we watched in horror as he face tuned his bicep to look bigger in a photo and then send it to a guy on Instagram. And that was and we were to our credit, we were like, hey, your phone's still, and he was just like, leave me alone, I'm in the bathroom. And we were like, okay.
Your funeral. So is anyone actually like face tuning the shaft?
I don't.
You have to be an artist.
If that's ever happened to me, I've not noticed it upon arrival, and I've never seen like an egregious enough case that I've been able to clock it from the photo alone. My thing about it is I don't even like to use deceiving angles. Like I use regular ass angles that make my penis look roughly the same as it's going to look, because my thing is always, I'm gonna see it.
Right. Eventually,
like I'm gonna see it eventually. The jig is gonna be up pretty soon. And this is like about the number of guys who have on their profile say they're 5'11", I'm 5'9", and then show up and are a full inch shorter than me, I'm like,
Terrible.
what's the end game here? I'm
Right.
gonna see you and I'm
Right.
gonna know that you're shorter than me, which, by the way, is fine. The only weird part of that is that you lied.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is generally, I think gay men treat shorter men better than straight women treat
Sure.
short men. There's like so many of the women I know in my life are so generous and sweet, and then they come in contact with a guy who's 5'6", and they're like, get the fuck away from me. It's wild. So I think short men are better served in the gay community, and so I never care about height. Like,
Right.
that's never something that I have cared about, except when you lie about it. That's the one thing that's weird.
Totally.
About
And
it.
you know how tall you are. You know if someone's lying about
Yeah.
it. Like, okay, is anyone sending flaccid penis selfies?
I've definitely gotten some, like, not fully, at attention
half-mass.
before. This is the thing. A flaccid penis can look like anything.
Right.
It really can. So it's not really giving you any sort of clue. Because I've seen big flaccid dicks that, it's the old grower versus shower,
Right. Right.
That's very real. And so, like, I just don't think it's very helpful to anybody involved to send a flaccid dick.
Yeah. And it's like, you got to come ready.
Yeah,
prepared,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was, when I was full frontal on Industry on HBO, they asked me when they offered me the part, they're like, hey, this is going to require full frontal nudity. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm naked all the time. Like, people all across the internet have seen my dick. Like, I don't care.
Totally.
Like, it's been leaked like several times, whatever. But then I realized, like, when I was on set, I was like, oh no, this is my flaccid dick.
Oh,
And that
sure.
can look a lot of different ways depending
different
on
beast.
the temperature, your mood,
Yeah.
how nervous you are, like
Uh-huh.
all of these different things. And it's funny because if you watch the scene, it, like, depending on the cut, like, it is like wildly different
Right.
looking.
And you're having to see it from a lot of angles that you wouldn't normally see it.
Exactly.
Did they
So,
put makeup on it? Did they
no,
offer that?
I don't think so.
No penis makeup.
Yeah, no penis makeup.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I love that. I feel like you should like do a consultation
I think
service
so,
for
yeah.
people to send nudes. Like they should
Yeah.
send it to you first. You should fix it up for them.
I would love to do that, actually.
So I love that your brother is also gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Your older brother is gay.
And he is biological to my parents, and I'm adopted.
Oh, love.
So yeah, it really does confuse. Is it nurture? Is it nature? Like, what's
Right.
going on here? It looks like nurture to me. Even though they did everything they could to not have that be the case. But yeah, he's a very different kind of gay guy than I
Okay.
am. Like, diametrically opposed. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's definitely not in an open relationship. He's very
Is he sending
conservative.
nudes?
I don't think he's sending
Okay.
nudes. He's been in the same relationship, I think, pretty much since he came out. Like, he
Gorgeous.
came out for somebody
Oh.
and has been with that person ever since. Like, very, like I said, kind of Republican, very conservative, like, not, the kind of gay guy that I am.
Who came out first?
I did. I came out like 7 years before he did.
Were you like, bitch, you copied me?
A little bit. Like, I did the legwork of, like,
Yeah.
our parents freaked out when I came
I'm
out,
sure.
and then slowly sort of like, I don't think have ever landed on being okay with it, but like they were certainly used to it with me.
Yeah.
And then by the time my brother came out, they were sort of like, okay, whatever.
Can you imagine? That's
But
my
again,
dream.
it was
They're living
it
my
was
dream.
much easier for them with him because he aligned with them on so many other things.
Sure.
It was just the gay thing that sort of
Yeah.
was a left turn for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah,
Because like
yeah,
again, they're voting for the same people, they believe in the same things, except when it comes to this very big part of his life.
Right.
But and so I think it was a little easier for them because they knew when I was coming out that I was like a godless liberal at this point, so that was doubly hard for
Put
them.
that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah,
Godless
no,
liberal.
I
love that.
wear it proudly.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my! So are they coming to your wedding?
No,
Okay,
no.
great.
And it's not, I was emancipated at 17. I
Yeah.
moved out when I was 17. Haven't taken a dime of my parents' money since I was 17, which is a
Wow,
huge
it's
cornerstone of
amazing.
my personality today.
It's amazing.
And the thing is about my family is I love them. I stopped expecting certain things from them.
Yeah.
I stopped expecting them to be able to fulfill certain needs for me a long time ago. I know they love me. I love them. But there are just certain things that they can't show up for. And I am okay with that.
Yeah.
I stopped expecting it a long time ago. So when I sort of figured out that they were not coming to the wedding, like a lot of people are like, oh, that's so sad. And I'm like, I never even conceptualized my wedding with my parents there or
Totally.
my family there since I started conceptualizing a wedding. So
Right.
this is not shocking to me. I have a lot of really amazing people in my life who have filled in the gaps where my family cannot show up for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I have a wonderful chosen family that I'm very excited to have at my wedding. And you know, it's sad for them that
Yeah.
they're missing it, you know, they're missing
Exactly. It
this
is
huge
sad for
moment in my
them.
life.
Yeah.
But it's not sad for me that they're not going to be there.
No, I think you're speaking to like this dimension of healing that a lot of people don't understand, which is like you often won't get the apology or the, you know, the reconciliation that looks good on paper, or, you know, like any of that, like the recognition.
Yeah.
A lot of the healing is like about you and turning it off and realizing what you can't expect
Yeah.
from certain people.
Well, and quite frankly, I'm so grateful to be 37 years old and not be one of those people who still needs approval from their parents, which, you know, like Godspeed, glad you have a good relationship with your family. But like, I see it all the time with my friends who are still so desperate to get approval from their parents, even at our age. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that I'm not beholden to that.
150%. Okay, so that brings me to my next question. What is your piece of advice for me to raise a son?
Oh boy. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot too, because we also want to have kids.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about all the things that I think my parents did wrong. And I think for me, like, it's just like learn how to listen to them. Because that is one thing that I never felt heard as a kid. And I think that pushed us even farther apart, even quicker. And I think it's like learning how to listen to your kids, because I don't think it's the same kind of listening that you would have with a friend or a peer or something like that. And it's because you're having to suss out someone's emotional and physical needs who has not learned how to communicate like an adult yet.
Right.
You know, and I think like my parents really didn't understand that super well, that like I may have been 13 and like fully, you know, somewhat developed brain who could communicate and use his words, but there was still an element of like, I'm 13, I haven't figured out, you know, this different parts of myself yet too. And so I'm communicating in the way I know how, and I need you to meet me there rather than be frustrated that I'm not on your level.
Yeah,
you know?
like they expect you to like handle things like an adult, or they think you're ridiculous, or
Yeah.
they, you know, belittle like what you're saying and what's
Definitely.
important to you.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, totally.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for doing this
Yeah.
with me. This was so nice.
Absolutely. When are you due?
March.
Oh, are you going to have a Pisces?
When's your birthday?
I'm February 29th. I'm a leap year Pisces.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
so your
yeah.
birthday's on a leap year. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to have a Pisces or an Aries.
Okay.
But I know many more Pisces men than Aries men.
I think a Pisces man is kind of great.
I know.
We're very in tune with our emotions. We're very
Yes.
like spiritual. We're very like sort of, you know, we can be a little spacey too.
Yeah, but I love that. But you're
Yeah.
artists. A lot of you
Yeah,
are artists.
yeah.
I'm like you, Justin Bieber, Kurt Cobain.
Exactly,
Like it's
exactly.
a great gaggle.
Yeah.
I'm not that familiar with Aries guys, but I already
Neither
get
am
married to
I,
a water
yeah.
sign who's insane. You know what I
Love
mean?
that.
Like very sensitive and gorgeous.
Yes.
Wonderful thing.
If you have a Pisces, he's going to be very sensitive. So you
I'm
will
ready.
have to learn how to
Yeah.
listen very quickly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh, I'm so glad you're a Pisces. Okay, now I need to have a Pisces. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so
is
fun.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Bye.